Everyone's been talking about it. Red Bull's second seat, the most volatile job in Formula One, and now a new name is being thrown into that fire. Isack Hadjar. You've seen the headlines, you've seen the comments right here on this channel. Hadjar is next. But here's the real question we need to ask. Is Isack Hadjar actually ready for Red Bull? Because that seat, it doesn't just build careers. It tests them, it breaks them, and occasionally it forges legends. And if Red Bull really is eyeing Isack Hadjar for 2026, we're about to find out which one he's about to become. But to understand Hadjar's chances, you first have to understand what the second Red Bull seat really is. It's not just a promotion, it's a pressure test inside a dynasty. Red Bull isn't just a team, it's a Verstappen-centric ecosystem. Everything, car setup, tire strategy, even energy deployment is all tailored around Max Verstappen. And you guys know this, I see it in the comments all the time. And let me be clear, that's not a knock at all on Red Bull, that's how dynasties work. Ferrari, the team I'm a fan of, did it with Michael Schumacher. Mercedes did it with Hamilton. You build around the proven weapon, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it creates a brutal side effect, and it mainly affects the second driver. Because when you do that, the second driver becomes a reference point. You're there to prove how good the car is, now how good you are. And Hadjar may be put in this situation. If you fall even slightly behind, all of a sudden, every journalist, every camera, every paddock whisper turns towards you. Pierre Gasly is a great driver, but he couldn't breathe under that microscope. Alex Albon tried as well to adapt and still drowned in those expectations. Sergio Perez lasted longer, but by the end of 2024, he looked exhausted, like he was racing not to fail. And what Isack Hadjar could inherit is a car that wins, but a job that crushes. But let's rewind real quick. Let's get into who is the kid daring to step into that environment. Isack Hadjar isn't some media manufactured prodigy. He is the product of pure grind. Born in Paris to Algerian parents, he started karting at 7, climbed through the French Formula 4, Formula 3, and then Formula 2. The hard way. Isack didn't have a billionaire father, no big brand sponsor. He just had raw pace, patience, and adaptability. In Formula 3, he finished 5th overall, then joined the Red Bull Junior team in 2022. In F2, he wasn't headline grabbing every weekend, but his consistency is what stood out. His smart tire management, clean wheel-to-wheel racing, zero panic. When Red Bull promoted him to the 2025 Racing Bull seat, most expected a quiet rookie year out of Isack Hadjar, including myself. But instead, he's been scoring points and even grabbing a podium at Zandvoort. And even though we have many Isack Hadjar memes when he blows up on the radio, overall, he is a calm driver, his debriefs are sharp, and his mechanics love him. That's rare. Rookies usually drain a garage. Remember Logan Sargent last year crashing that car all the time? That's a perfect example of how a rookie can drain their entire garage. And if you're wondering why Red Bull's taking him seriously, that's exactly why. They value drivers who think like engineers, something that this guy used to do. And Hadjar is already doing that. But honestly, this topic didn't start with the media. It started with you. Every time I post anything about Tsunoda or Red Bull, my comments light up. And it's always something along the lines of,
I think Yuki is cooked.
Next year's Red Bull is going to be Max Verstappen and Isack Hadjar.
misspelled.
Guys, Kimi should not be second.
You're right, he should be third. Hadjar and Bortoleto have been better.
And you know what? You might be right, because lately that fan theory isn't just fringe. Now it's paddock talk. So here's your moment. Leave your take down below. Is Hadjar ready right now, or should Red Bull wait one more year? I'll be answering to all the best ones down there. Now, if someone is moving up, someone else is moving out. And we talked about this in my previous video. Right now, if it is true that Isack Hadjar goes to Red Bull, which so far it is just a rumor, but it is circulating quite a bit around the media, like serious media sources. So if Hadjar is in, who is out? I mean, that is more than obvious, it's Yuki Tsunoda. And don't get me wrong, he's improved massively since his rookie meltdown years. We all remember that Yuki Tsunoda. More mature, sharper feedback, fewer mistakes, but consistency still is the question mark. On top of that, 2025 was his prove-it season. Red Bull has said it quietly and publicly. Helmut Marko hinted Yuki knows what's expected. And if you're new to the sport, you don't want to hear that from Helmut Marko. When you translate from Red Bull speak to plain English, that means perform or we will look elsewhere. And Hadjar's steady rise just makes that pressure heavier, because in Formula 1, comparisons are currency, and right now Hadjar's value is climbing while Tsunoda's is wobbling. If you follow Red Bull for long enough, you know this. Their driver strategy isn't emotional. It's data-driven chess. And yes, they make a lot of mistakes and they rotate drivers all the time, but their goal is always to improve this team. When Perez left, they lined up 3 pawns: Lawson, Tsunoda, and Hadjar. Lawson was almost talked about as his next Max Verstappen type figure. Tsunoda was fast but volatile. Hadjar on the end was kind of like a filler for Racing Bulls, and they were just giving him a trial season pretty much. And Christian Horner summed it up years ago. He said, "We give opportunities, we don't give guarantees." And while that is cold, that's the formula that found Vettel, Ricciardo, and Verstappen. Hadjar's timing is landing perfectly within that cycle. He's the next test of Red Bull's philosophy. Find new talent early, throw them into the fire, see who melts. Whether you like it or not, I have many criticisms of this system, and I see you guys in the comments all the time also criticizing it. But on the other hand, it also created figures like Vettel, Verstappen, and Daniel Ricciardo. So what makes him different from the other drivers who came before? He drives like a hybrid between Ricciardo's precision and Verstappen's confidence. He's late on the brakes, commits early, and trusts the car's front end, but he doesn't overdo it. That balance separates talent from race winner potential. When we look at his telemetry, it shows smooth throttle inputs. Engineers say he's one of the few rookies who can hit those targets on the first try. And that's some experience that he has beyond his years. And even though he had a rough start of the season with all the drama around what Helmut Marko said about him, I think that overall Isack Hadjar is pretty bulletproof. When he's on track and things go wrong, he resets almost instantly. No rage, no blame, just analysis. Of course, I'm not talking about Piastri levels cold, nowhere near that. Oscar Piastri is just a different kind of human being. But those qualities are some of the reasons as to why Red Bull are now whispering, is Hadjar the next big thing here? But before we continue, we have to be honest about the elephant in the room. That second seat destroys careers. Pierre Gasly lasted 12 races. Alex Albon made it 18 months. Perez got 3 years before the politics ate him alive. Pretty much every Red Bull second driver ends up trapped between 2 impossible roles: push Verstappen without upsetting him, and support the team without disappearing. And that's the balance nobody ever truly nailed. At Red Bull, even though that car just isn't in its prime anymore compared to like 2-3 years ago, finishing outside of the points still isn't success though. They still expect their second driver to finish in the points. And if you cannot achieve that, you've kind of failed. Hadjar has proved that he can do it, but that second seat at Red Bull, it's a whole different story and it demands performance. It doesn't give you time for a learning curve. Me personally, I think that it's very likely that Isack Hadjar will be the second driver at Red Bull next year. The problem is, are they promoting him a little too early, and is he going to become another what if when the guy is truly just full of talent? And it's something I've feared for his career and talked about a lot on this channel. But you may be asking yourself, if it's that dangerous, why do it at all? And there's many shades to this story, but Red Bull tends to love a story, and this one just kind of sells itself. From Racing Bulls to Red Bulls. It's clean, simple, it's perfect for sponsors, perfect for the fans, any fan of any team. It's just a good story. On top of that, Isack Hadjar is multilingual, polite, marketable, a sponsor's dream, and Red Bull needs those sponsors right now because they're not performing as well. He doesn't feud online, he doesn't cause much controversy. He's a Verstappen-era talent with Gen Z media discipline. And strategically, 2026 brings brand new engine regulations, chassis rules, and aero limits. I have a whole video about this on my channel that you can watch if you want to know all of the details about it. But in summary, everything is going to reset in 2026. Red Bull needs drivers who can adapt faster than computers can simulate. And Yuki Tsunoda is no longer a rookie, they can adapt quickly. Hadjar's data from Racing Bull's sim sessions alone shows that he acclimates to new setups in half of the time as of Tsunoda and Lawson. His adaptability is simply gold. He's not just a gamble, he's an investment that could define Red Bull for the next 5 years. But there's still one massive risk that we haven't talked about yet. If Hadjar moves up and struggles, even for a few races, the narrative flips instantly. People are going to start saying, oh, he was an overhyped rookie, he got the Red Bull curse, and once that ball starts rolling, it grows exponentially and he is forever tainted as that guy. Now, that doesn't mean that those are defining characteristics of his career if, God forbid, this happens to him. Gasly managed to rebuild himself at AlphaTauri, but that was kind of a miracle. Most of those Red Bull drivers don't get these second chances. And Red Bull's ecosystem is unforgiving. They've got a whole lineup of juniors ready to replace you the moment that you blink. That pressure, which must suck, is invisible, but it's constant. If Hadjar steps up, he has to hit the ground perfect, because even a small dip could erase years of progress. So the question is, what's the better option for Isack Hadjar? And there's really two options that could be good here for him. Once again, I'm going to be arguing on behalf of what's better for Isack Hadjar, because anytime I talk about one of these drivers, I'm not arguing on behalf of teams, I argue on behalf of human beings, of drivers. And I know that's exactly how you guys see this as well. I see it in the comments all the time. So basically, there could be two good options for Isack Hadjar. One is the obvious, stay at Racing Bulls if you can, until you get a better contract, perhaps with another team, or even the main Red Bull, once Max Verstappen leaves, since there's rumors that he might leave in 2027. Who knows? Red Bull gives him a lot of freedoms, so I don't know if he will leave. But personally, I don't think that competing with Max Verstappen at Red Bull is ever a good idea for any driver. Now, the other option, which is a lot more risky, it is to go to this Red Bull seat. Perhaps he just has no option because of his contract. He just has to go there and try your best to perform the best you can and perhaps show that you could be the next Verstappen. Now, either way, Isack Hadjar is in a very tough situation right now. So the final question is Isack Hadjar ready for Red Bull? Talent-wise, yes. Mentally, I think almost ready. Timing-wise, I think not yet. I think he is one of the most balanced, mature, and composed drivers to come through the Red Bull Junior team since Verstappen. But that second seat, like we mentioned before, it still eats careers alive. And until Red Bull learns to support, not just test their second driver, maybe the real question is Red Bull ready for Isack Hadjar? Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. You can click right here to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and you can click right here to watch one of these two videos that I created just for you. Until next time.